Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play, Cool Spot, for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. Let's look at the options real quick, because I know the controls are in there. Obviously. Alright, we can switch between easy, normal, and hard. You can play with the music off, you can play with the sound effects off, and you press B to fire your weapon, and you press C to jump. That's the only two buttons you really need for this game, aside from the control pad. And here's what you gotta do. You gotta find the cages and release your friends from them. Gotta pick up those flasks of 7-Up to refill your health, and the 1-Ups to get extra lives. The game will point you where you need to go with those little pointy fingers. The 7-Up logos and the spots will make you cooler. You gotta be cool enough in order to find the cages. And of course you want to avoid mines. Those are bad. First level is Shell Shock. And by going behind that bottle there, we actually managed to find a spot, so we're 1% cool. Anyway, I'm going down at the bottom here to shoot at these hermit crabs. When the hermit crabs start walking, that's when you shoot them. You'll shoot their shells off at first, then you'll destroy them for good. Also, you want to watch out for the dragonflies too. Those things will shoot at you as they fly back and forth. And those crabs that are coming out of the holes in the floor there, you want to shoot them down whenever they show up and snap at you. So we gotta find 60% coolness. We gotta get that much coolness in order to get the cage to show up so we can free our friend. And we're gonna have to do that by collecting little spots and the little 7-Up icons. I'm not gonna find every cool point in the game, but I am gonna find a lot of them. Because if you manage to become cool enough at the end of every stage, you'll be able to get an extra life. Heads-up display is pretty easy. From left to right, we got the amount of coolness we have. The spot's face is the health meter. At first, it'll look alright, and there's that flask that refills a little bit of our health. But as we take hits, the sunglasses will droop, and soon afterwards, so will that cool spot icon. And if it falls all the way off, we've lost a life. And of course, you also see how many lives we have there too. I love the cheat code books right there on the ground near the chair, by the way. To the right of that is the amount of points we have. That's our score. Next to that is the amount of time we have in the stage, as well as the high score, which is pretty useless. So we're about 33% of the way cool. We gotta hit 60 to get that cage. And I'm looking around for some more cool points here. Take the time to take out that crab. And I'm gonna have to return to the left side of the screen there because, well, we saw some balloons, and there's a bunch of balloons at the end there, at the left end of the stage, that we're gonna have to go from one to another in order to find more cool points. And I believe right here where this little dune of sand here is where you gotta jump to the left here. And you gotta pop on bubbles to get to balloons sometimes. And here's as far left we can go. If you jumped on top of the bottle, you could basically make a shortcut all the way here, like so. But I actually decided to take care of stuff on the bottom first, so that way I didn't run into any enemies while I was doing this. And of course there's an upper path that I'm going to take, and we've pretty much reached 60% coolness. By the way, after that bubble you want to drop down to get that easy to miss cool point there. And now it's time to make our way back. So we gotta get to that balloon, and then we're gonna complete the rest of that top path. This game really makes you explore just to get anywhere around here. Also to get up there, thankfully you don't need the bubble, but it does help. It pays to explore the levels because that's how you're going to get all the cool points and maybe some other stuff as well. Now let's take care of more enemies. Get rid of that guy. There's a continue point. As soon as you lift that flag up, you'll start there when you die. Also, picking up the clock there will give you 30 seconds more time, which can help sometimes if you need to get some more cool points or just get to the end of the stage. You're not going to find them all the time, though. You're not going to find them very often. And the reason why I'm actually playing the Genesis version is because Karisu Yamato actually wanted me to over this, and I actually compared this with the Super Nintendo version, and it turns out this version is better, at least to me. You don't have the bars at the top and bottom of the screen. The heads-up display looks a lot better in my opinion. So that's pretty much it for why I actually picked this version over Super Nintendo. And we basically found everything above the chair. So now we just need to go back. I know there's one spot that I missed somewhere. One or two spots. But oh well. As long as I can make it to like the high 90s, I'll be glad with my progress in the stage. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get up there. All you have to do is just leap right off that bubble there, and you should be able to make it then. And to the right is the end of the stage, which I'm going to have to give myself another try at going to because I accidentally dropped down there while trying to make my way on the top path there. There we go. And just shoot at the lock on the cage, and you'll free your fellow cool spot. And the level will be complete. At the end of every level, you'll get a bonus for the unused amount of time you have. And the cooler you are at the end of the stage, the more likely you are to reach that 1-up. And if you do really well, if you manage to be very cool at the end of the level, you can go to a bonus stage. I always make it a priority to check the bottom of the bottle that we're in for the bonus stage. Check the size there to see if I'm not missing anything. Sometimes they'll put stuff there. But anyway, you'll be rocking out as you bounce off these bubbles and get as much coolness as you can. You can get a 1-up from the bonus stages, but you have to hit 100%. If you hit 99, you're still not going to get that extra life. I managed to find out the hard way at the end of the second bonus area. And you're really going to have to go all over the place and pick up the clocks that you can find here too, so that way you can get more than enough time to get all the coolness items and eventually make it out of here with everything collected. Also, you'll find letters that spell out the word Uncola, like that U up there. You want to pick these up because these act as the continues of the game, so in case you die, the better you've done and the more letters you've collected, the more times you're going to be able to continue. This game does not play around. This game can give me difficulty, and I somehow managed to beat the 4th level of this game on my first try. Thankfully, I don't have much further to go now in terms of collecting everything. So I'm glad for that. And we finally picked up that last thing, which was a 7-up icon. And we have gotten 100% coolness in the first bonus area. Now to store the continue, get a little bit of time bonus, and get that 1-up for finding all the cool stuff in the bonus stage. Now it's time for level 2, Peer Pressure, where you're really going to have to go searching in order to find everything. Now, believe it or not, you can actually aim in 8 directions with the control pad. When you fire, you can just hold it in any direction you want, any of the 8 directions, and you'll shoot in that direction. Especially if you're on ropes. When you're on the ropes here in this level, you basically want to avoid running into the inchworms, which can pretty much drain your health in a hurry. You really want to be careful of the inchworms that go back and forth. You also want to watch out for enemies that may not be there 1 second and there the next, because sometimes enemies like that like that crab will suddenly spawn. Also, I swear that one spot actually despawned on me. I never went back to get it because I thought I collected it. I ended up completing this one with 99% coolness. But this one's a bit of a doozy because you have yellow inchworms that go back and forth, crabs that will snap at you, and the bees. I hate the bees. Sometimes they'll go up as they go back and forth, sometimes they'll go down. But they can be pretty erratic, and they can get you when you least expect them, so you definitely want to watch out for the bees. Also, those 7-Up flasks that refill your health, don't expect them to pop up all the time. They don't pop up very often, so you want to take as little damage as possible as you go through these stages. I end up going back and forth on the ropes in case I'm finding the inchworms on the same rope ladders that as I'm on, because I don't really know how far they're gonna go, and I don't want to risk being touched by those things because again, they can touch you and hit you when you least expect them to do so. And of course, you don't want to go too far down. You can actually hold up and down to look up and down respectively. You can just hold those two directions down to look up and down respectively. And if the screen doesn't move, you're either at the very top or the very bottom. Also, if you see an opening in one of the little wooden pillars there, you can walk through it. Be sure to jump in the middle sometimes because you may find a spot. I unintentionally found this out near the end, and I realized that I probably may have missed the spot from doing that too. So you basically want to jump around anywhere where it doesn't seem like there would be a spot, because sometimes maybe there is. And there's that continue flag. I want to be able to grab that spot there before I hit that flag. And as you can tell by the spot icon there on the upper left-hand corner, Spot ain't looking too good. He really looks like he's about to peel off. But he's gonna look worse than that if I take a few more hits, as you're gonna see. Yeah, if it looks like the spot icon is about to fall off there, you're about one hit away from dying. But that spot sticker really does have some tenacity, I'll tell you. And I explored here just to make sure that I didn't miss any spots. And then I go this way. So that way I continue on with the level. And that's why I hate the bee, because sometimes the bee, or bees, will stop, like, in mid-path, seemingly, just for you to run into them. It's a major inconvenience sometimes, and that can make them sometimes even more annoying than the inchworms on the ropes and the walls. And there's also these fish enemies too, which take a lot of abuse before they go down. And yeah, just by how the spot sticker on the upper left is looking, I'm one hit away from death. And I did not see that bee coming. Thankfully, I touched that flag there nearby, so I don't have to go back too much. And by touching that bee, I actually destroyed it, so we don't have to worry about getting revenge on that bee. But I really wanted to. And I actually looked for it for a little while before I realized that I actually destroyed it when I touched it. And it's not going to spawn again. You're also seeing those knots on the ropes too. You cannot climb onto those. If you drop into them, you'll just phase through them. I think if you climb down onto them, you'll phase through them too. I also forgot to mention controls. Besides B to shoot and C to jump, control pad obviously lets you move left and right, lets you move left and right, up and down. If you hold those two directions, you'll be able to look up and down respectively. And you have to hold up or down when you're near a rope ladder in order to grab on and then climb in that direction if you need to. I also forgot to mention what looked like metal jacks on the ground there too. those will hurt you. Those will act as spikes. Thankfully, they're not instant death, but they can still be very annoying. And we finally reached 60 cool points, so we can finally look for the cage at the end of the stage. But I'm still going to look for cool points. Also, the water on the ground will not hurt you. The only thing they really do is just house some of the fish to shoot at you. Also forgot to mention the clams too. They're vulnerable when they open up and spit at you. You definitely want to watch out for the projectiles that those and the fish shoot at you. There is also a 7-Up icon for more coolness you can pick up at the top of the rope. You have to jump at the very top of the screen to get it, and you go as far as you can. And thankfully I managed to find a flask. Sometimes I shoot at enemies from behind the walls that I can't go through. I kind of recommend against it most of the time, because you never know when one might drop a flask. Like, that enemy didn't drop a flask, but one of the later ones that I kill off, it does, and it just kind of left me annoyed. We found another checkpoint, so let's go ahead and make a low jump off over that jack. And don't follow the points here. As soon as you grab that lowest one there, you want to make your way to the left, that way you don't run into spikes there. And getting around actually is a little difficult, though you get used to it eventually. When you move left or right, when you hold the left or right down, you go slow at first, but eventually Spot speeds up, and he actually runs. You don't have to hold a button to get him to run. You just have to have him move in either to the left or to the right for long enough, and he'll eventually do it. That's why I sometimes jump a little more often than I actually walk, because I actually end up going at a fast yet consistent pace when I keep jumping in one direction. Also, you can jump and land on those nails too. That's how I get this spot right here. And apparently you gotta have 85% coolness to hit the bonus area. So that's good to know. And there's that flask that I was talking about that I missed. I was actually kind of at half health right there, and I could have really appreciated that flask, but, well, I didn't get it. And there was another spot right there in that opening between this area and the far right section. And that's how I kind of learned about the spots in the section you can walk through. And we have to deal with a few more enemies, but that's alright. And by grabbing all these, we are now at 99% coolness. So let's shoot the lock off and get this guy out of here. And it helps to have as much coolness as you can, so even if you finish with like a little bit of time left, you can still grab that one up. And now it's time for the second bonus level. This time I checked the sides, and I actually get some stuff for it. I managed to complete this one 100% on the practice run, but in this one I only go as far as 99%, which was really annoying. I do go for some 7-Up icons early, and I try to go as high as I can, so that way, in case there are any clock icons that I can pick up there, I can actually go for them. Yeah, when you hear that sound right there, you know you're running low on time. You definitely don't want to run low on time. Not all that much when you're in the bonus areas. And I tried to grab that spot and I couldn't do it. So I focus back on the top again, and I tried to grab the 7-Up icon and the N so I can have another continue. And let me see if I can try to remember where that one icon I missed was. I may be able to notice it, I may not. I think it may have been a little bit to the left. I actually lost track of where it was, and therefore I didn't see it. It was a little bit to the left there, and I didn't grab it in time. And I managed to make it through here with 99% coolness. And I managed to get the N, the spell Uncola, because 7-Up was the Uncola of the 90s, absolutely. And right there at 99%, I touch it, but I don't get it. The game actually decided not to hand it to me despite being able to touch it and be over it. So you gotta be at 100% in order to get the bonus level 1-ups, which can be very essential. Anyway, the 3rd level is off the wall, and we will be taking that on in the next video. So join me next time where I take on that and the 4th level. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching!